reason.
They
Oh no,
normally
it's just
do
because it's because they're in champ select right now.
No cure for fools.
Well, hey, welcome to the draft. You just got set straight with you right now. We ain't really got much. Eventually, we'll have someone else in here. Don't worry too much. We're just going through bands. We can assume most of these are targeted,
I can
especially right
watch
now
off
at the
of
mid lane.
the stream. It shouldn't be too far behind.
Oh yeah, it's just the draft phase.
Yeah, yeah.
You can be 30 seconds behind in the draft. Worst case, I just say what's happening, and you go, "I know what's happening next."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? This should be a fun game. Sit, do you know anybody on these two teams?
So I have casted "You Are Being Muted" like the upteenth millionth time now.
Okay.
I casted him in All Stars. I've casted him, I think, every week he's played. This dude just keeps showing up. I think he's even subbed for a few teams that I casted in like another league even.
Okay. Well, this should be a good setup then because I'm actually really old friends with players on BrainStorm Gaming.
Great.
So
So like I
we
know
should be
one
able
on one. You know the whole other team. Easy.
I don't know the whole team, but in your head and I can't remember which other one because they've changed their names so many times. But two of these players actually played on a team I ran back in 2016.
Whew.
So I've got a bit of
Ancient
experience with some of these guys. But yeah, I mean, this is their first week in the league. I don't know how if they played a second game already today. They played a first game at 7 o'clock, and they did. From what I've heard, they did really well. They won their first game, so I believe they're 1-0 so far tonight. Um, and as we know, Illumination just won their last two games. Correct?
Yeah, I believe it. Illumination, kind of like a storied team here in the league, makes a lot of sense for them to be doing well. BrainStorm. I mean, if you're going to spend the money to get your name changed, you got to be good as a unit. Could you imagine getting
That's
cut by
very
that
true.
team?
That's very true.
Whew. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, they've been itching to get into the league. They've been itching to play some games. So, it sounds like they're having a good night so far, and
Now, I
hopefully
do
this will
think
be
that
a
it's
good
nice
matchup.
to lock in the bot lane really early, especially into the Swain when they go Nami Varus. They're not going to let the Swain get in and get his damage off. And the Graves pickup right after that really doesn't seem to account for the fact that this is a really pointed draft by Illumination where they just have said you're not going to be able to, stand at a distance or even engage on us at all.
Yeah, and they're playing stuff that they're comfortable with. I'm pretty sure Illumination just played the Varus and maybe even the Nami in the last game. I was kind of half paying attention in the background, but whereas on the other side, picking up the Graves, picking up the Rammus, and the Swain. So they've got kind of a flex with the Graves where he might not even be playing jungle. What do you think? Do you think the Rammus is going jungle, or you think it's Graves?
I think it's like Rammus bot lane or top lane if it's going anywhere. I can't see Graves being flexed. His wave clear is really weak. I mean, if you actually were to look at my real account, Sit Straight not being my real one, you'll notice I've played Graves on like 80 or 90% of my last 20 games. And this
Okay.
champion just can't wave clear early enough,
True.
I think, in the lane. Like, his Q's incredible for wave clear. He can steal laner CS all the time. That's why I love him in solo queue. I'm constantly running into mid lane and saying I'm just more important.
So are we thinking maybe even a Rammus support then?
That's where I was
Possibility?
thinking. Even with the
Okay.
Swain, you can combine the two. I could see
I
that being
do-
a really potent combo.
I do like the Ziggs pickup. They played it in the first game tonight. I don't know if they played it in the second game, but it absolutely carried them in the first game they played. And I feel like Ziggs just right now in the meta is just such a strong champ. Doesn't matter where you play him. So
Yeah.
great pickup before the bans. They're not letting BrainStorm ban that out in the second set of bans.
Especially when they had already lobbied bans onto the Yasuo and to the Zed.
Yeah.
That was kind of a must pick up for them to be able to get their bot lane and have a bot lane that responds to so much of BrainStorm early and still get the Ziggs with 2 mid lane bans. That's an effective draft.
It is definitely. And seeing the last couple bans come out here, the Pike being banned out and the Fizz from Illumination, they must know a little something we don't know. I know Pike has been played by In Your Head a couple times, but the Fizz, it's a new team. I haven't really watched them play too much as this 5-man unit. So maybe they did their research. We're going to go and assume that they've done their research on that. Now on the other side, the Olaf and the Aurelia.
Last second Sejuani choice. Really
Yeah.
like it though. I think it's much better than the Talia here. You have enough damage, especially magic damage. Varus dealing, I think, something like 20 or 30% magic damage himself. Sejuani's a really good pick.
Yeah, it works really well on the team unit. And, I mean, if you look at the solo queue record of Sejuani, you might be saying, hey, why play this right now? But Sejuani, with the team they've already built, the Ziggs, AoE damage, the Nami, AoE CC, and then the Varus, just going to be able to do a lot of damage with all that CC
Yeah,
in
we
front
have
of him.
AoEs on both sides as Twitch and Oriana are locked in from BrainStorm. This is just actually every single champion is dealing sustained AoE over on BrainStorm damage or
Yeah, and
BrainStorm gaming. Sorry.
yeah, and last week when we were watching some of the games, specifically in the Gold League, the teams that had the most AoE damage, the most AoE CC, however you want to put it, was able to come out ahead in the games. Both teams were really drafting. It seems like kind of the meta to draft these team comp teams. And I mean,
I
when we're
definitely think that
watching,
Darius. Mm.
when yeah, Darius is. I mean, he's a frontliner. He can go in there. He can at least be somebody to pull focus away.
Well, this team only has one person running in, and if that's Rammus, Darius is really able to like chunk him down and use his passive to kind of burn through the HP that's there. Varus too is able to do that if he stands in front. I guess Swain may want to get close, but even then, Darius doesn't want to be on top of a Swain.
Yeah, so far, I mean, we see the whole team. It looks like the Graves is gonna go to the top lane, and Rammus is gonna go in the jungle. So, like you were saying earlier, this wave clear kind of weak, but against the Darius, what do you think about that matchup?
I of so this is just how I'm I'm at a loss for words. There's no real way to put it when you have to see Graves go up against Darius in the top lane. Now, let's say that in your head is just a really proficient Graves player and he knows what he wants to do here, which just given by the order champions were selected in the draft, I don't think is the case. I don't think it's like a counter matchup where this was the right choice. Like I think it's just a blind Graves top pick. Um,
Normally, that would mean that hopefully he's comfortable on the champion at the very least, if he's blind
he
picking
would
it, right?
definitely have to be comfortable on it. I just can't see it working in the lane. Maybe Darius, if knowing it's a Graves in the top, should have taken Ignite, but I'm not sure how well that
Yeah,
works in a team setting.
potentially.
Given the fact they have three TPs, though, I think that's the only thing I would really say would solidify this is like Graves loses 10 out of 10 times. I think there may be two chances if they're playing this set 10 times in a row where Graves really has a chance to shine through. Um, if that chance happens, it's all in the ability to use his E to get really short and quick trades with Darius. Never get more than 3 stacks on him. Um, Preferably land the Q damage, but it's really just all about not taking damage yourself because Graves deals so much up front.
Very true. And then looking at the jungle, we've got two fairly slow junglers. What kind of impact can we expect from them?
So the jungle's just going to be more about their impact, I'd actually say, in the top and mid lane. Bot lane's going to be a little difficult for anyone to get anything done, particularly because there's a Swain and Nami. Both of those
Yeah,
champions have a
definitely.
lot of keep away. It's going to be a really safe lane. I imagine both of them farming. Because of that, you have to think where these junglers going to want to impact the game because they have really good snowballing advantages, right? Rammus with his ball and his taunt, Sejuani with her dash in and then permafrost. Um, both really good tools. They can level 2 gank, even level 3 gank, or level 3, even level 2 gank. Sejuani's 6 obviously better. So I'd imagine them going top lane early, just because this can really swing the matchup. If either champion gets to engage Graves or Darius, they can end up killing. And I think that this is really helpful for Rammus. That's what he wants to be doing. So Sejuani wants to be counter ganking him, and
Yeah,
Rammus
yeah.
wants to be getting up there so that way we can pull the Darius out because he can't get these stacks onto 2 people. It's not possible.
When you mentioned in the bot lane, it's going to be fairly safe, you would think, in terms of preventing ganks. But who do you think's going to come out ahead? Because I mean, this isn't really in this meta now. We've got all kinds of champions playing the bot lane. I don't think that I've ever seen a Twitch and a Swain combo. So how do you think that's going to do?
I think it's all to the individual skill of the ADCs, honestly. I think the supports are going to play a really minimal role. Nami will poke Swain, Swain will poke Nami, Nami will poke Twitch, Swain will poke Varus. And that will happen. If there are missteps, obviously, I think that these players are good enough where in Platinum where they're not going to be missteps which lead to kills or substantial number, maybe one, maybe two. outside of that, I think it's just really the ADCs and their ability to pick up CS. Like, can you last hit minions? Really core League of Legends skills are going to shine through today.
Fair. Although I do feel like the supports, I feel like they do have the opportunity to impact this game. Um, I started playing ADC a bit right before the changes to it. And I haven't really gone back to it just yet. But with some of the ADC changes, I feel like they're much more reliant on their supports of helping them get through that early game.
I
But
definitely think that they play a crucial role. Still, supports are going to have a little bit difficult of a time here. I'm glad we're loading in, though. Cutthroat Graves, that's a great sign.
yeah, as we're loading into the game, make sure you express which team you think is going to win in the chat. We got either a BS or hashtag BS win or a hashtag IE win. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win. And as we get started, take a look at some of the summoners. I know you briefly mentioned Illumination running the 3 teleports. What do you think of the Varus teleport, of these ADCs taking teleport now?
My ADC prefers heal over teleport on my gold team now that we're loading into the game. I tell him he's wrong every time, and I'm almost demanding he takes teleport. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm interested to see how Bronze does with it. I know he's had success with it so far tonight.
Yeah,
But
it's
as we're
just
loading
about
in,
knowing it. Some
yeah.
people don't know how to use it. It's really depressing when you see it. It's about lane management, and if you're one of those people who really love CS and you're going into a matchup where you think that's what you're going to be doing,
Yeah, we got a pretty even spread out too. No one's looking to go too hyper aggressive. You know, 2 teams feeling each other out at the beginning. Neither of these teams have seen each other play really yet. So
odd that
fairly,
Oriana would leave the bush to walk.
yeah, you'd think it'd be up a little higher, but playing a little extra safe maybe. They're the new kids on the block. They don't want to give away any early kills.
Actually, this setup out of BS is rather strange. They have Graves sitting topside, who's already used his trinket ward to ward off the entrance to the jungle, with Oriana, who like hovers between the really far back bush and the kind of close up bush.
Yeah, it's a bit unique, and I mean, at the very least Graves used his ward early because he'll have it
Rather
back
than
up
not at
and
all.
available. Yeah, he'll have it back up and available around the time that he's gonna be ganked. Although it will be maybe a couple seconds late. Hopefully, Sejuani doesn't make an early gank path towards the top lane, where he might be in trouble there. But in terms of the jungle, fairly standard start.
Yeah, we'd like to see who goes to the Scuttle Crabs first here. From my experience, it's not really about who gets the first ones. It's more about who's getting the second and third. But
Yeah. The second and, like you said, especially the third seems like when it really starts to scale up. And then we're also gonna have an early Mountain Dragon. But a lot of damage being traded back and forth. The Ignite actually went out on Nami from Swain. So 1 summoner down there. And the damage for Illumination went on to Twitch, which is a little bit better in this situation. Now Varus is able to bully him out of lane.
yeah, now that bullying was actually done all thanks to that one ward in the bush. It's these little advantages. I can gain you like crucial auto attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all game back with this like one nice Swain pull.
Yeah, that was a good pull. He doesn't need to be careful sitting in the...
He doesn't even pop pot actually. He just sustains that right back up.
Yeah, does he have a the Swifties? I didn't even look. Not the Swifty. What's it called? The Fleet Footwork.
Yeah, he has fleet footwork. So no real big trades. Really playing it safe.
Okay.
Twitch going here with press the attack.
Yeah, we got a little fight in the top lane. Darius is chasing pretty hard. He's hoping to get something here on Graves. He flashes forward for the Graves. Graves flashing away. He does get the dash away and doesn't take too much damage. That was kind of close. I expected I actually thought that was going to turn in the favor of Graves once Darius got into the minion wave there, but man, he just kept going and going.
Yeah, those stacks. That's why I said the best option for Graves is constant small trades. Anytime when you allow him to get full stacks on you, you fucked up. He's paying for it now with a really long walk back to lane.
I'm not sure if the directed camera caught that. Ooh, never mind. Good stun there for bot lane. But when that trade started in the top, it started by Graves being pulled under tower by the Darius E. So that was a little unfortunate. That's how he was able to stay so close to him for so long.
Yeah, it's definitely not a forgiving matchup. Reminds me of a Trindamirs who end up in bad matchups and get forced to use their E to constantly back away rather than engage. But as I say this, we have a gank in the mid.
Yeah, gank in the mid lane. Sejuani holding her dash, holding the dash. Gonna get the stun off on Orianna here in just a second. It does go off. Orianna flashes right at the last second, able to save herself. And Ram is coming into the top lane. A nice smoke screen by Graves. And it looks like this should be a free kill for him. Darius able to sustain just a little bit. Dashing forward. There is no flashes other than the Ram is flashing forward. Is able to secure the kill. And first blood goes over to BrainStorm.
Yes, that's exactly what we could have expected here. Both junglers looking to prioritize the top lane. It's really about who can do it better. Sejuani able to get both the flashes out of the mid lane and top laner, though, so we've definitely seen the type of focus we could have expected. The question is, what does she do with it now that she has it? I'm
Ooh,
sorry,
good.
this fighting hot.
Yep, no, you're good. I was going to call it out if it got too low, but Twitch maybe needs to back here. Doesn't have a health pot anymore, getting kind of low. Darius using that TP back into top lane.
We're about to have a fight over the Scuttle Crab between the two tanks. We can expect nobody to die except the Scuttle.
Well, and right now Darius is in a much better position to be able to help out Sejuani, so this should be hers. And
lane
with Ram is
priority base.
basing. Yep. So
Now,
Illumination.
if you notice there, her permafrost dealing substantially less damage since the changes. A lot of
Yeah,
people
it's-
seeing that as a net buff. Really bad for Scuttles.
Yeah, it's another reason why I think we haven't seen her win rate in solo and duo and even whatever queue go up. Right now, she's not the most favorable champion outside of this kind of structured play.
Can we sing You're on Top of a Ward? You've been standing on it for a while now. You're on top
Ooh,
of a ward.
that happened so fast I didn't even want to say anything about it. But man, Nami getting instantly bursted. Varus having to flash out, and that's a second kill. Rammus doing some work now. Nami didn't even have time to flash. That taunt just held her down so long. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Sejuani making a second appearance, flashing forward to get the stun. Orianna uses her ulti, zigs with the ult. Ori does get stunned up, and
That
she
is
goes
one
down.
frustrated Sejuani going all of the
Yeah.
way in for that kill.
All the way in, almost does go down there. Only lives with about 150 health or so. Brave's actually going to come in, going to try to pick up the kill. Is he going to be able to do it? Oh, she only gets down to about 80 health. Nah, that wasn't as close as I thought. They're going to do a little bit of damage to Darius. He should be able to walk this off.
That Scuttle Crab victory is just going to be keeping him alive, actually. I just love showing off the priority of these Scuttle Crabs.
Yeah, I mean, it gives her a little bonus move speed, gets her out. Darius was coming in. It was, she had
Oh, I'm
some
saying that
protection.
saved Darius there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, had Darius not had that, that's his booty. Rams is going
You
to catch him.
think? Ziggs was kind of close. I think he might have been able to help out there.
I would have liked to have seen the exchange now that we know Ziggs was there. The more fighting, the better in a 3-kill game.
True that. And I mean, as we get closer and closer to this mid-game point, we should be seeing more and more fights with
Now,
how quick
that
these games have
control
been.
ward, I can't see the range of it here. But I do believe it's going to miss the tail end of the bush.
I think you're right.
This is why I actually place my wards on, like, not quick cast, whatever that's called. It's just called normal cast. We have a word
Yeah,
for
just
it.
normal cast.
Yeah, it definitely helps out in those situations. Also, another thing to pay attention to. Oh, beautiful mechanics. I'm sorry. Just going to be quiet and praise that for a second.
What happened? I missed it.
Bot lane, there was a ward kill. They dropped the ward instantly between, it was either Swain or Twitch did.
Oh.
The bot lane, just one Nami auto, 2 Varus autos.
Okay. I was watching more for a fight. I was a little
No,
confused there for a
mechanics,
second.
mechanics.
Fair enough, fair enough. Ooh, Rammus almost able to slide in and get this, and now he's in a bad position. Somehow his
Also,
roll
he's in
didn't
that
get
position to roll.
yeah, the roll didn't get procced. I thought Sejuani would have hit him enough for that to be.
That's game breaking if I've ever seen it. I'm sure they'll follow it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. We need a restart over here, guys.
New comps, new teams.
New comps, new teams. No, thank you. Let's
No.
keep going with this game.
BrainStorm actually does have a 500 gold lead right now. That said, it's going to be hard to materialize it
Ooh, Ramus
bless
coming
the
in for a gank in the
Ramus.
bot lane. Ooh, the flash forward from Swain. He doesn't really have any CC just yet. Twitch flashing forward to get his ult down. Does pick up 1 kill. Sejuani was headed down there, but she's just been a couple of seconds too late on these counter gank attempts. So Ramus putting in some work for BrainStorm right now, keeping him in it.
Now Graves
Keep him
actually
ahead.
taking the blue buff on the top side right now.
That's some
That's
team
live footage.
synergy. Team synergy right there. Ramus saying, hey, I don't need it. You go ahead. I'm ahead. Ooh, nice route from Swain. That's going to put Twitch in a good position. If Sejuani was not still hanging around in the bot lane, that would have been another kill, I think.
Sejuani's definitely been going where she needs to be. It's just Ramus has that power ball, which makes him just slightly
Yep.
faster.
Yep, that speed is something to contest.
I'd
And
like to
Ramus
see
now
the
showing
recall
up in the
on
mid lane. That's going to be a dead Ziggs with the ult landing. He does try to put down as much damage as he can. Not going to be enough. 4-1 BrainStorm. So, as we're seeing this early game play out, what do you think? First off, what do you think BrainStorm needs to do in the mid game to be able to
Well,
stay ahead?
Sejuani doesn't need to get caught out in her own jungle by Graves. That is.
That's for sure. I don't know if Graves had enough damage, but he is going hard on this. Gets stunned up for a second, lands the smoke screen.
Actually, can we also mention Graves is ahead in CS by quite a bit?
Yeah,
It's quite surprising how much Darius has actually been shoved in.
and you know that can be a struggle with some top laners when you're playing a matchup that you feel like you should be able to win, especially damage-wise. You kind of focus and tunnel a little too hard on pushing that other person out of lane. And as we can see in this situation, it's given Graves a nice little 20 CS lead or so. Going down now that he came down and is helping his team get Dragon.
Now, BrainStorm actually had a really nice macro play here where they rotated the Graves from the top side to the mid after a kill while the Orianna backed and then turned that into a Dragon play.
Yeah, and
despite
Graves-
even like walking over control wards and vision, that all works out. Darius is top side, but even
Graves
if
has
he
the
gets
TP.
the tower,
He's coming back. He should have maybe based first. I don't think they needed him to stay for the whole drag. Maybe base a little earlier, go ahead and buy real quick.
still 10 minutes pulling off macro plays is always nice to see, especially when they're that organized and clean.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally resulting in a kill that happened back in minute 8.
So, back to my question. With BrainStorm ahead now, what do they need to do to keep this train rolling into the mid game, into the late game, to be able to beat out this strong Illumination team?
Well, so it's just about pushing the game to its end phases. It's the simplest way you could ever put it. You just got to break the early game, get those tier 1s. Break the mid game, get those tier 2s. Find yourself in the late game when you break an inhibitor, take Baron and win. Nothing can stop you.
Fair enough, fair enough. So then, on the opposite side, is that exactly what Illumination needs to do to get back in it? Or is there a different strategy for him?
So Illumination has a composition which isn't going to scale nearly as well as BrainStorm, which means they need to be looking for an advantage and they need to be looking for it right now. There's only a 1k gold deficit. They probably feel much further behind than they actually are. I think that this
True.
starts with Sejuani not answering with counter ganks. Ramus is far enough ahead. He's going to be there. You have to be proactive. The ultimate's up. Let's see it.
Sounds like a plan, and as you mentioned that, I don't know that we've seen a Sejuani ult just yet. She only just hit level 8, but yeah, I don't think we've seen that just yet. So where should she prioritize that ult? Because I'm thinking mid lane. How about you?
So you're probably not going to like my answer here. I think
for it.
that Ziggs has enough CS. He is far ahead. Yeah, Ramus is answering it right now. He has to. So Sejuani's doing exactly what I want her to. She's inching up in this bot lane where they've had vision in these bushes. They know there's nothing going down. She's
Okay,
going to use the
okay.
ultimate where she can get 2 kills, not 1. That's probably the jungler in me speaking, though, because I do say that a lot of the time.
No, that's a very good point, and bot lane will hopefully net them more out of it. The only reason I wouldn't want to go bot lane is because of the current situation. Ramus has been putting a decent amount of pressure on him, so you kind of think if you're Illumination that Ramus will be around and be ready to counter gank. Also at the same time, you know, like you just said, the jungler in you also normally doesn't want to gank a lane that's losing too much. And not that they're
Oh, she waited too
Oh.
long and then left right at the last minute.
yep. Well,
See,
she's
the
coming back
alternative play
now.
would have been top side, get the turret. First turret gold, worth it.
True. Oh,
We do
Nami
have a
going
regain
in with the
coming.
ult. Twitch is gonna get caught just a little bit. There's the ult from
Twitch gets
Sejuani.
caught.
It lands hard. Oh man, that's gonna be a lot of
Swain
damage on
has
the Rammus.
no tanking ability. Sejuani dodges the ult, but goes right back in. Ooh.
And now in the top lane, actually, Darius going down somehow to flash forward from Graves just to keep Darius from being able to heal up too much there. Twitch looking to go back in, though. So we did have a 1-for-1 in the bot lane. No, sorry, a 0-for-1. Sejuani died. Rammus managed to stay alive. I didn't even notice that. Ooh, a great stun by Swain. Twitch is going in, dodges the bubble perfectly, and they're going to get just enough damage. The taunt from Rammus ends up finalizing that kill.
What have the Ravens?
That was adorable. Did you see how he threw his little pinchers out at him?
Yeah, I mean, that Ram is doing
Cutest
work
friend.
there. I thought he was going to die in the middle of that fight. He took a lot of damage really quick from that Varus.
Yeah, this is what I meant by Sejuani has to be proactive if that's what she wants to do there. You can't wait until the Rammus counter ganks. You need him to counter gank late and be useless.
Sorry, I'm going to have to cut you
Sorry.
off. Darius getting a big kill
Yep.
in the top lane. That was just Graves staying a little too long, getting a little too greedy.
Well, at least we know Darius still does Darius things. I think that was really just Graves not paying attention to that Black Cleaver. If anyone watches Professor Milk, he has a great line where he says there's never been a better match in League of Legends than Darius and Black Cleaver.
I have not seen that, but I'll take his word for it. Oh, a nice root by Swain. He is killing it at supporting this bot lane right now. And Twitch might be able to
Twitch
get
just
in
got a
here.
kill.
Varus, man, he's staying way out. Is my time behind? Am I a little off?
Oh no, sorry, I just said it was a kill because he was over. You're totally
Okay,
fine.
just make sure. Sorry, we were having
Yeah.
issues with timing last week, so I just wanted to
Gotcha.
be 100%. But
Oh, no,
man,
I
that
was
was
just he was.
interesting
in a coffin.
by Swain. I guess or not Swain, sorry, by Varus. Didn't realize that the Twitch was still around. Maybe he thought Nami was closer. But right now, BrainStorm taking the driver's seat. I mean,
Sedge, baby, no, don't go. They want you to.
yep, misses the ult, and now Rammus going straight on the Ziggs. The pull from Swain again, and Orianna landing a nice combo to ulti off of the Swain. And now they're diving after Sejuani. She's going to go down. Rammus is going to tank the turret for a second and say, oh, this is cute. Let me just powerball out.
It's like watching a horror movie.
But despite all these fights, it's still only a 3K-ish gold lead, a little less. Now we're finally about to see the towers crack, though. And bot
Yeah,
lane,
this is where
Varus
we
once again,
transition
man.
from hero to the mid.
Yep, Varus getting caught out. The Twitch, she's just too sneaky for you. You need to stay back at your turret when Nami's not around.
Darius
Flash forward
wants
from
booty.
Darius. And Graves is going to have a hard time getting out of this one. I don't think he has his dash. There it is, finally. Actually, that was an ult dash backwards. But Darius, you can't dodge the dunk.
So I actually didn't realize this about the Graves and Darius matchup, but this just kind of makes top lane Graves a little bit worse that he can't even outscale with the lead.
Ooh.
Sorry, Ziggs is getting.
It's
Wow.
all right. We didn't need to talk about that. I mean,
It
that
happened
was
so quick.
another case of BrainStorm sitting here roaming back and forth, working as a team, and one of the players from Illumination trying to still play in the laning phase. You know, it's obvious that BrainStorm is playing these macro games right now, and Illumination needs to pick up their team play if they want to contest this game.
Yeah, at this point, Illumination's out's looking very slim. Varus looks like he's very capable of carrying, especially with the Rage Blade pickup. I think you have to funnel everything into Varus and to Darius at this point. Ziggs only has the CS lead, still 0-3. It's a really weak story to see teams doing this poorly with so much CS. They're capable of the damage. Darius
Yeah,
picked
and-
up a Tiamat.
Let's see. Gotta make sure my timing's correct because I'm having a little bit of stuttering here. Okay, there we go. But I agree, you know, funnel into Darius, funnel into Varus if you can. But it's going to be tough for him, especially if BrainStorm continues making these macro plays. And hopefully, it looks like the rest of their team is looking to help Graves over on this Rift Herald. I think that should be a priority for him with how much they've been working as a team. that Rift Herald will definitely help them break into these towers a little more. But fight going on in the top lane. Darius getting taunted up, taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to get a safety from Sejuani here. Sejuani coming in, lands a couple stuns. Rammus is actually getting really low. And with the Ziggs here, he's going to land his ult. And wow, that Ziggs damage. It does not help to stand in the middle of the Ziggs ulti. Extra damage from that little circle manages to burst Rammus down.
Yeah, so we're seeing some life come out of Illumination here. It's great to see. Varus is definitely where we're going to have to see the energy coming from now if they want to mount their comeback. It's one of those moments where it's just everyone has to be showing it. We've seen it out of Ziggs. Sejuani has not taken her foot off the pedal all game, except for maybe level 6 to 8. We won't talk about those, though. Darius, he's back in form. Like, it's all on Varus now. I'm sorry, I'm really prejudiced towards supports. One day it'll stop.
It's alright. I feel like Woodwork here on the Swain has done a lot of work in the bot lane. And as I say that, lands another massive stun on Nami. Nami's going to take a lot of damage. The Ignite does go down, but Twitch flashes forward to be able to land the last hit of his ult there. And this should be the second outer turret for BrainStorm. I really like how this Swain is playing. He's playing, you know, just aggressive enough. He's laying these stuns. He's waiting to see if his team wants to go for it or not. He's definitely setting this Twitch up to be able to carry. I like Twitch waiting out the pink ward. Gonna see if they can do something here in the mid lane. Ziggs just barely missed with the stun there.
No, Ziggs is just on this constant zoning life. It looks like Sejuani's
Nami
really
getting
looking for
stunned
something.
up though. Ram is trying to come in. He's gonna get the taunt here on Nami. Waits just long enough for Swain to get in range and land another CC. Man, this is tough. Sejuani trying to go in after your teammate's already down. I don't know if this is the best idea for you.
Yeah, blows the ultimate.
Yeah, blows the ult, and I don't know that you want to force a fight after you already lost one team member.
No, you do not.
That's shows a little bit of desperation out of Sejuani right there.
Well, so the issue is it's not enough desperation, if I have to say. I think you have to choose. If you're going to be desperate, be totally desperate. Don't go the safe way. Run right at them with your Sedge ult and pick someone off in the back line while they're out of position. Like, don't give them these squeaky clean rotations every time they want them. I'm
Good
just saying,
point.
if you really feel desperate, you have to act it. You can't just, like, use it as an excuse, I think is the way to put it.
Fair enough. So if they're gonna be desperate, you're saying they need to just start going headlong, making sure they're not allowed to make these rotations. So first off, looking at Vision, do you think they're doing good enough on the Vision game right now?
Well, I wanted to
doesn't look too
comment on
bad.
Vision because I don't know if you remember earlier in the game, the entire top side of the map was red. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a communist dream. Now the dirty capitalists have taken back over, and it is just blue across the board. It's looking like a Hillary Clinton election, but she doesn't really win.
Well,
Spoiler
they could definitely use maybe one more sweeping. You know, Nami's got the sweeping right now. They could maybe use it on Sejuani or even Darius. But as we say that, that's a good bounce. Ram is able to
TP
be
with the
bounced away
Swain.
there. Graves getting engaged on hard
Oh,
over
we're
here,
all-
man. They're using everything for him. Flash from the Darius. Taunt lands onto him, and a lot of damage now coming out from the side of BrainStorm. Darius actually goes down really quick. Nami's now the focus. Sejuani just kind of walking in here, almost suicide pact.
Yeah,
And that's a 3 for 0 for BrainStorm. I mean,
they picked that fight, and they see 4 people on their side against what is 5 on theirs, or missing people. Varus isn't there. I don't know why that fight's taken.
I think
Maybe
that
they
was.
thought he finished the TP.
I think that was your desperation play right there, because they thought they caught the Graves, and he just was a bit tankier than they thought he was. He stayed alive through a couple ults, the Ziggs ult, the Nami CC'ing him, and that was just tough after they used all those ults on one champion. to then
Yeah, I
walk
just think you
in-
need your sustained damage.
Yeah,
Like, you have to know what you drafted your comp for, right? You drafted Ziggs Varus with a Darius. That's like your core. This tells me that Varus is sustained damage, Ziggs is burst, and Darius is there so people don't jump on him.
ooh, Graves probably gonna go down here in the top lane. Got a little greedy looking for that turret.
He's actually pretty tanky right now.
He is very tanky right now. The thing that's gonna kill him is he does not have the mana, and he does not have the movement speed to get away from a Darius with a Black Cleaver.
Dream combo. Here comes Rammus.
Man, Rammus though, talk about movement speed. I mean, do we even have to commentate those kills? I mean, you're not getting away from a Rammus when
Well, you know,
he's
Ziggs
this
was
far ahead
actually
there.
just went 1-1-1 since he was low 3.
He has not
You
been
have to
doing
give
bad.
credit
He
where
had,
it's
he
gone.
had a couple good CCs on the Rammus, but anytime any CC's landing, I feel like we can just say, "Hey, they landed CC. Somebody's gonna die." That's
No, it
Because
definitely
right-
is CC guarantees kills at this point.
yeah. BrainStorm, they've got the damage. They've got both burst and sustain with their team comp right now. Especially when you put somebody like Swain in the support position that still has, he's 5-0-10 right now. I mean, he's definitely doing something right.
For sure, for sure.
But looking overall at the whole map, 18-5 overall. It's about a 9k gold lead now. We've got 3 dragons, 2 of them mountain, 1 wind for air, and the Baron on 4 members of BrainStorm right now. So let's think end game because
So
right
20
now we're-
AFK at her Krugs. It's all gonna great view. Ah, she's back.
It's all part of this strat, man. She was letting the Sunfire get the kills for her.
Pretty sure she's flaming your team in the chat right now. I gank
Uh.
for all of you. Can't win lane game when every lane loses. And Ziggs is sitting here like, what do you mean?
Oh man, that's so much burst damage. You'd think of Darius as being a tanky champ, but when Orianna can use a QW and chunk a good 50 of your health,
And she didn't even go the tier build.
she's doing something. She's
Just
only
raw
1
damage.
in 6, but her damage is obviously something to.
Honestly, she was bullied all game. You gotta give Ziggs some
Yeah.
credit where it's due. He really did bully the Orianna.
Yeah,
I
and
think this really just
Sejuani.
comes down to Varus. If you want to see what Illumination needs, I mean, just the CS alone, you can't come back from that. Ziggs is 70 plus up on him. That's a
Yeah,
full
it-
item.
And we talked about it early in the game, but Sejuani paid her dues in the mid lane. I mean, they went hard into the inner turret to get a kill on the Orianna early game.
The only kill onto Orianna, actually.
Yeah, the
And it
only
took
kill.
them in between the tier 2s, where the tier 1
Which-
hasn't even fell.
It's credit to how well Rabbit and Turtle's playing.
Varus
Good
forced
ult
to flash
landing.
out.
Yeah, Twitch actually going down really early, which means not much sustained damage for BrainStorm for the rest of this fight. And also Graves being in the top lane really doesn't help. Oriana's gonna get chased down by the Sejuani. Forced to flash away. Graves now trying to fight, trying to duel out the Darius, but without your team. Well, I say without his team, but Orianna making the run up here. Gives him the shield.
Oh, the whole
Rammus gonna
team
come in
coming.
and get the taunt. But now the rest of Illumination is showing up. They're gonna get the kill on Darius. Sejuani, though, is going to be the next focus. Ziggs, nice CC on the Ram is going to stop the power ball. Graves doing
That's
good
the
damage.
fight.
He's going to get the kill onto Sejuani and Varus. Did he just flash into that area? No, I don't think so. But man, that was a lot of positioning errors. Managed to give BrainStorm a lot more kills in that fight than they probably should have got.
Yeah, didn't Sejuani miss the redemption there? Because I thought that was the reason Darius had flashed forward, was thinking that Sejuani had actually gotten the
Did he
redemption.
flash
heal.
forward? It was hard to tell because I looked at the cooldown and
I didn't know if he had
on
even
cooldown
flashed,
for
but
a
the
little bit.
engage or being that close, it makes sense.
yeah,
If Sejuani's still alive, and that's the focus of the other team. Because
Yeah,
those intro auto attacks are so important to Go Shoes.
it would make sense for him to go in that way if his team was, if the Sejuani was still alive there, but she just took way too much damage. You know, it wasn't a
I think she stepped out of the redemption. Maybe I'm wrong.
it wasn't a good full team commit from Illumination. Because
No, it hasn't been all game though. You can't expect that right now.
fair enough. I mean, the last 2 games though, you'd think that they could
Yeah, I
pull
just
their head
watched the
out.
clip. Sejuani's HP never goes up from redemption.
That's unfortunate.
I'm back live.
Yeah, I've been trying to make sure my game keeps up, but there's a little stuttering here and there with the spectator glitch right now. So if we're a little behind, okay,
Yeah.
I'm right there. But just yeah, if there's any issues, sorry. Any delay in the commentating. So we got Baron spawning in a minute 20, Drag spawning in a minute 30. What can Illumination do? They've gotten a couple kills. They were able to stall the push, but do you think that was just pure luck or bad mistakes from BrainStorm?
No, I think
or...
that this is like what their team can do. And I think if we had seen it earlier, they'd be winning the game, honestly.
Okay, well, Rammus is trying to start a fight here. Gets a taunt on a Sejuani. I'm not sure that that's the person you want to focus, but they're going for it anyway. Put a decent amount of damage onto her, but she's just going to walk away.
Nah, net ultimate win for the side of BS right now.
Yeah,
Using
they used
Varus
the
and Nami ult to
Varus ult,
fade.
Nami ult. Definitely. It wasn't,
Did Swain just accidentally ultimate?
Swain did use his ult at some point. And Twitch did use his ult in that fight. He was not quite in range.
Yeah,
so
Twitch
he
had
used
used his, but
Yeah, I think Swain might have used it after the fight.
those soul frags take a while to gather. Now, I think that the play here is to go for Baron. It's a classic split. You take Baron while they take Dragon. The issue is the timers aren't going to work out perfect, so they'd have to kind of muscle their way in.
Well, and I think they're looking for kind of like a 4-1, putting Graves in the bot lane. Well, I guess he was just down there to push one wave.
Yeah, so right here, this is where you just like to see them rush the Baron if you're on the
Yeah.
side of Illumination.
And even if they don't rush it, I don't mind them backing, but they could at least use one ward maybe at it. I know they've got ward coverage on the way in, but say Illumination gets lucky and walks around the wards, that could have been a bad situation for him. So Graves actually doing the dragon by himself there. And now they're able to put their full attention onto the Baron vision.
Yeah, I think that's about where you close it out there. There were a lot of chances at this point. It seems like, barring a miracle, Illumination doesn't have many ways back in.
Well, say barring a miracle, but they're going to start this Baron. They're going to try to burst it down. Varus is not in range. Ziggs is not in range. But
We're going to get the
Sejuani
full
is.
commit from Sejuani.
Oh yeah, we're going to see if she can pull off a miraculous steal or not. Throws in the ult there. Gets down to about 1,000. And the
She gets
steal!
it.
Sejuani gets the kill on the Baron. Sacrifices her life for the good of the team, like she's been doing all game.
Yeah, really staying on top of the babysitting duties.
Yeah, and now we see BrainStorm kind of at a loss. They're going to try to push straight down mid, but they're not really going to be able to do much.
Yeah,
with
this is
the
that
huge
ARAM
fan.
frustration right now you're seeing out of BS.
Yeah, definitely. I say just take a second, regroup, get all your waves pushing. Don't be up this far, especially without Graves. Because as we can see here, the Ziggs can do a lot of poke damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you kind of mentioned it earlier, the name of the game for Illumination at this point is going to be that sustained damage. Like, let's just have Ziggs poke him down, Varus poke him down. And once they get low, then throw in the Sejuani ult to try to start a fight.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to see how they pull this off.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, they just stalled the game out for another good 5-10 minutes with that Baron steal.
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned for them. They got Baron and they're still not able to use it. They're not manifesting towers off of this except for the one top lane where they made the macro play, if you remember, with Graves going mid after a kill and all that yada yada bullshit that went down. Like,
Yeah.
outside of that, they haven't done anything, and that was a concession that was made by BS to them. Like, that wasn't their tower to take, that was a gift. Like, frustrating.
Yeah, and you know, if BrainStorm plays this right, this will probably be a very slow, very boring next couple minutes because they should just wait out the Baron. not put themselves in any risky positions. Let Graves keep getting these side lanes. Yeah, maybe send your ADC Twitch up to the top lane to get that wave, and just kind of let Illumination do their thing, especially if they're not going to push hard with it. It looks like maybe they're going to go for the mid turret. We see them picking onto it now. But
Classic ARAM.
yeah,
And I mean, they'll get the turret. It's really weak. They probably could have. Yeah, they could have got it with the Ziggs Castle
coulda-
charge hours
yeah,
ago.
but now
This
they're all
takes a whole team
recalling.
commit in Baron.
Now they're all recalling for this fight in the top, or for this little mini split push, I guess you could call it, from BrainStorm. And BrainStorm's just going to back off there and be like, hey, we don't want to fight right now. We're just trying to redirect your attention. BrainStorm does need to be careful. They don't really want to pick a fight in the middle of the jungle, I don't think.
We can be hoping for the most here.
What are you hoping for right now? I feel like you're hoping for fights.
No, I'm hoping for some great macro to come out miraculously of Illumination.
Okay.
I want them to start playing the map the right way. I want them to start forcing this. I want them to look BS in the face and tell us who is going to answer a 1-3-1 for you, because it's nobody. Like,
Yeah, I mean, BrainStorm is doing a pretty decent job on the macro level right now, keeping all the waves pushed and not really giving Illumination a chance. Especially with how Illumination is playing, it seems like they've basically sized them up and said, hey, this is what we can do. This is what they're giving us. Let's keep this going for right now until we have the advantage of another Baron or something. Or even the Elder, which, is there going to be an Elder next? Yes, so maybe even that Elder play, which will be spawning in a minute 30.
I'd just like to see them close out here clean. I know it's not what will happen.
Yeah,
There's just
well,
way
it's
too
tough
much
for their
poke.
team.
They didn't get any Ocean Drakes.
Yeah.
They don't really have a siege mechanic. Like, you're right, it's tough with their team comp.
Even a fight in the jungle like this, I really don't like the idea, even though they have been doing really well with it. Just because you can never count out a Sejuani and Diggs with all that AoE. But they are going to try to siege here in the top lane. Sejuani looking to maybe force a fight. Nice Ori ult lands onto the Varus, which is big. Sejuani going really low. She's going to go down first. The Ziggs ult lands massively on multiple people. Rammus going down first. The Darius ult finishing off one. He does go down before able to finish off another. And now it's just Graves sitting here fighting while his other teammates are clocked. And man, that's going to be a 2 for 2. And another kind of stall out. We had the tanks for both teams go down and the top laners for both teams go down.
So what we're seeing here is just really, really, really good team fighting coming out of Illumination every time they end up in it. And this is being spearheaded, honestly, by the Nami almost every time. All of the team fights really are. It seems like that's kind of what's keeping them together. Nami's like a glue. I think that's the way to put it.
Nami and Sejuani.
Well, Sejuani,
does
I don't know
work.
if she's a glue. She's more of a hammer.
Not okay, fair enough. I was gonna say, in the team fights, he's not overly impressive right now, but just the fact that he put so much work in the early game, got the Baron steal, which was massive for him, and then in the team fight, he as bad as it kind of looks, Sejuani did his job. He ran in as a tank. He played as a front line, even though he wasn't able to do anything super significant for the team. He didn't back off and play at the back like you might have some junglers do,
No, for sure. The only real improvement we could see out of Sejuani is doing a better job to mitigate damage for Darius as long as possible.
Fair enough. But we do see the Elder going down for BrainStorm, and it's going to be a pretty significant boost, especially with Baron coming up in a minute. We'll see what they
That
decide
vision
to
line.
prioritize.
It's orgasmic.
Yeah, they've Illumination doing a good job of setting up, trying to be ready for whatever comes
I was
next.
calling for BS's vision line in the bot.
On the
Literally
very,
have
yeah,
a direct line across where they took Elder.
that's true. I was looking more at Illumination setting up for the next siege.
Well, if you actually turn the Fog of War and you just see Illumination, they are really set up for the next siege, which is great.
Yeah. But we are going to see this next siege start in the bot lane, and once again, we're going to see BrainStorm try to crack this base open. Twitch actually using the ult there just to try to poke down. It looked like he was trying to get Ziggs low. Only gets 1 or 2 hits onto him though. And they're gonna back off. Not too much else to say there. They decided, hey, let's play it safe. Let's just get the Baron. Or attempt the Baron again. Now, do you think they're gonna go straight for it this time, or do you think they're gonna try and maybe bait it out a little more this time?
I don't think that they're concerned at all with baiting it out. I'd like them to be concerned with baiting it out. Also, probably to a fault. I actually had my teammates sit me down and tell me we're not allowed to bush strat every game. Despite my love for bush strat.
Well, they don't. BrainStorm doesn't like the bush strat either. They're going straight for it. Varus is in the bot lane, so if a full team fight breaks out, it will favor BrainStorm. But I don't think they're going for a full fight. Rammus does get a smite down. Sejuani flashing in, she's gonna go down. And unfortunately, Sejuani cannot make a miracle happen twice. Now BrainStorm in the driver's seat with that Baron.
Yeah, I think this is actually going to be the end of the game here. So Sejuani's recall or respawn shouldn't be in time. But with Rammus backing, none of that will matter.
Yeah,
Yep,
it looks like
and they know
BrainStorm's
that.
gonna play it safe. They're just gonna, everybody's gonna base. They're just gonna heal up real quick and then force this siege.
See, with Elder Drake and with Baron, I'd just be shoving 4v5 advantage.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
nothing that's going to stop you with Sejuani down.
The only downside was their waves weren't in a great position, and we've seen this game that they've been prioritizing really hard on having all their waves ready for these pushes. But I agree with you. Just get mid wave, just go with that one wave and try to get it pushing in.
Waves are finally getting hard to clear.
Especially when you got Orianna sitting here just kind of giving the Baron buff. And they do have the Mountain Drakes, 2 of them, which should make hopefully this siege a little easier now that they have Baron.
Ooh!
Sejuani looking for a fight, a lot of damage. Wow, Orianna just instantly bursting the Varus. And that's going to break open the base. That's probably going to be the game. Rammus diving in here, getting the taunt. Sejuani getting really low. She hasn't even had a chance to get a good ult off. Actually, she used it at some point. Ziggs lands a decent ult onto Swain. Darius going big with the ult. And Darius, he's a force to be reckoned with, but he's going to go down. That was a little scary for BrainStorm for a second there, but they still had the Twitch, Swain, and the Graves. So they had some damage. Now they just
both
need to
have
sit
their
here with
Guardian
the
Angels
minions.
up too.
That is very true. Sit here with the
Also,
minions.
that was Twitch who started off that engage. He actually just landed a big chunk of damage onto Varus, and Orianna finished off the kill.
Was it my camera skipped around and I only saw the Orianna flash?
Yeah, I didn't even get to see really the damage get dealt. All I saw were the Twitch procs, and I panned over, and Varus was dying.
Wow. Well, a great game out of BrainStorm. Their first night. I'm at least 2-0. Maybe I don't know if they played any more games from what I've heard.
Normally you don't. Yeah, so you look at the damage dealt, and this tells the entire story of the game here. Varus deals less damage than Nami. I'm gonna just leave that at that, and I'm gonna leave my comments done.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah, we don't need to talk about anything else other than that.
That's you can't win a game when your sustained damage dealer isn't sustaining damage, or is only sustaining damage, I should say.
And that's just the fault with the new patch. People, I don't know. It's not an itemization thing. It's just ADCs are having a hard time adjusting to it. So benefit of the doubt for them. Just yeah, maybe Varus isn't the champ you want to be playing right now if you're not able to get close enough and get the sustained damage with the type of team comps you're playing against.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at Swain. Swain did more damage than the Twitch. I feel like in a way, Swain was more of a carry for BrainStorm than Twitch and even Orianna in a way, because those grasps that he was landing in the early game to set up the early kills, and then in the mid game to be able to set up some of those team fights and the objective control, really did a lot for him from my perspective. But I know I've been harping on Swain all game, so I'll leave it at that.
No, it's all right. We all love to dick ride every once in a while.
But that's going to be the end for Game 3 tonight. We've got one more game coming up for you in a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes. Thanks.
this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know.